Hi guys, my name is Haley Anderson. I am a senior at the University of Houston's College of Education, and I just started my first semester of student teaching. I was born in Texas and have been raised here, and I've lived here my whole life. I have an amazing family that supports me: an older brother, a younger sister, a mom, a dad, and a stepdad. As far as any other languages known other than English, I only ever took 2 years of Spanish in intermediate school. I wasn't able to retain much of the information I was taught, so I only know a few phrases like ¿Cómo estás? And ¿Puedo ir al baño? And things like that. I also know a few vocabulary terms, basic ones like roja and blanco and alcachofa, just random things here and there. So I would not say that I'm fluent in Spanish in any way. I'm actually very limited on what I can speak, and that is all due to my learning experience. I believe the reason that I wasn't able to retain much of what I was taught was because of how I was taught it. My teacher used worksheets and vocabulary terms to try to teach us how to speak the language, and I don't think that that's the most effective way. She would try to incorporate some things like showing us videos in Spanish and us trying to translate them, as well as requiring us to do presentations in Spanish. But most of what we learned wasn't retained because we weren't learning it to learn how to speak a language. We were learning it to get a credit. At least that's how it was for me. It was also very challenging to learn the language when the environment for learning was not very effective. We still frequently spoke in English, and we were not required to speak Spanish consistently. This in turn did not allow us to fully absorb the language like we should have. She also did not include much technology in the class, which I feel could have been helpful. Overall, it wasn't the best experience for learning a second language, and I feel that there is a better way of teaching a second language, whether it's Spanish to an English speaker or English to a non-English speaking person, no matter the language. My teaching philosophy is to support my students in any way I can, whether that's providing them with extra materials or extra time. I feel that you really need to support a student in every way possible to help them succeed in their learning. Otherwise, they're not going to understand anything that you try to teach them. I also think that it's very important to promote a positive learning environment and make sure that the student feels comfortable in the classroom and help them feel confident in their learning and want to learn and be excited to learn. If a student doesn't feel comfortable in the classroom, then they're not going to pay attention and they're not going to want to engage in the activities, especially if they're being put on the spot. And that's where we need to take into consideration our English second language students or our English language learners. We as teachers need to understand that we are there to support them and teach them English in a way that makes them feel comfortable and safe in the classroom. I feel that it is important that English language learners are submersed in English, where they can learn and hear the language being spoken around them constantly. I feel that that is the most efficient way to teach a second language, not through worksheets or vocabulary flashcards. To really learn a language, you need to speak it and hear it every day. and that is what I plan on doing in my classroom with my ESL students. Thank you for listening to my video, and I will see y'all next week.